of congratulations and compliments to Nigerians and everyone all across the world. So it is my pleasure to say congratulations, Nigerians, our viewers and audience of Editors Forum. Congratulations on seeing another Yuletide season. We're going to another year, and it's so much to be grateful for. So let me say congratulations to you for witnessing another Christmas, another New Year, although still in advance, but then we are very certain that God will keep us alive, healed, and hearty. And of course, there have been so many good news during the week too. So let's say congratulations to Nigerians too on our refinery that is finally alive after so many years. And so much more. Yeah, the president even cut down the cost of transportation for people who will be traveling. So yes, Nigerians, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. Okay, you're welcome to Editors Forum on Galaxy Television. I am Layo Shobo for Lauren Shaw. This beautiful afternoon, I'm so excited. I'm very, very excited. Maybe because this is the penultimate edition of the year. Maybe, or maybe because of my guests in the studio today, maybe, or even maybe because of the good news we've had so far, and then the season is just making me so happy and excited, and I hope you are happy and excited wherever you are too. Despite the economic, nobody or anyway, we still have to be fine and very much okay. All right, I'll run you quickly through a few things that happened during the week. Talking about the things we saw. Yeah, on Monday, INEC finally reviewed plans to conduct rerun and by-elections in the first week of February 2024. That should be the first Saturday, yeah, to fill vacancies in the national and state constituencies across the country. So we have 34 constituencies, of one which is Senatorial District, 11 federal constituencies, 22 state assemblies, and hopefully we look forward to transparency and very, very great electoral process. And also on Monday, so the Court of Appeal in Abuja dismissed the petition by the All Progressives Congress (APC) and its candidate Senator Aisha Dahiru Binani, seeking to invalidate the election of Umar Fintiri as the governor of Adamawa State. So finally the court has said and finally decided that okay, Fintiri is the duly elected governor. And on Tuesday, the House of Reps Speaker, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, at the resumption of plenary that Tuesday, said the 2024 budget will be passed on Saturday, December 30. They have promised they would pass it before the new year, and I'm glad, or we say Nigeria should be glad that they are turning out to be men and women of their words, right? We look forward to that in so many more cases. And yeah, on Wednesday was when President Bola Tinubu approved 50% slash in the price of interstate transport fare for Nigerians who are traveling during the Yuletide. That started on Thursday and will last January 4, 2024. However, people that are traveling via air, there is no slash for you because this is for the masses. If you don't have money, you can't be traveling via air. For you to be traveling via air, then you're a rich man or rich woman. So this is not about you, so to say. So luxury buses and even trains will be working at zero fare. I think that's a very great one. Of course, I'll have my guests in the studio do a quick reaction to that. So let's see. And then on Friday, actually, there was a very sad one here in Lagos. Another building collapse in a Bute Meta, Lagos. And the Lagos Building Control Agency said it had issued evacuation notice several times on that building. And funny enough, the original occupants had left. But so to say, we still had some people, staying in the building until it came down on Friday. We looked about 3 deaths, yes, including a 12-year-old boy. It was also reported that a baby was in the rubble. Well, may God grant the souls, the deceased souls, repose and help the agencies to, get all other people out alive. And yes, on Thursday, okay, I missed on Thursday was when we had, was it Thursday now? When we had the our refinery alive. Yes, that was Thursday. Okay, so let me quickly introduce my guests to you so they get to do quick reactions to these things I have reeled out so far. I have Mr. Olakunle Abimbola. He's a writer, journalist, and a member of the Nation editorial board. It's been weeks of back and forth, and I am finally glad to have him on the show. Thank you so much for being here, Mr. Abimbola.
Thank you very much.
It's so good to have you.
Same here.
All right, and then I have, should I call him my G now? Because yes, he's no longer, Mr. Anuma is my G now. I can literally call him and say, Mr. Anuma, I really need you, and he will show up. So I have he's the Assistant Secretary of the Guild of Public Affairs Analysts of Nigeria. He's a journalist, a writer, and so many more. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Oshiomale R. Enuma.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so when I mentioned the 50% slash, I could see some smiles across the room. So do you want to say something about that? Let's start with Mr. Abimbola.
Well, obviously, it's a very good thing. I mean, things are hard, and any opportunity to save a couple will make the boss very happy. So obviously, people are very happy, and it's a good thing. And I can't recall of any federal government in the history of Nigeria that has done this. I know the free train ride was done by Rebeshila when it was governor in Osun. Unfortunately, the federal government has stopped it now. I wonder why you stop a winning formula, particularly when the masses are concerned, if it's a democracy and those masses are supposed to vote for you. But plus minus, I think it's a great thing. This season of leanness, and it's well taken by everybody. Kudos to the government.
Yeah, but some people have raised concerns in quarters that not everybody is traveling, and how many of the masses really, like the vulnerable people, will be traveling. So they say that is not really a very good initiative. What do you think about that, Mr. Nima?
I don't think that's correct. I would prefer half full than none. And though everyone has a right to his or her opinions, but then if you have to go along with them, you also see reasons to an extent that would you rather prefer a bag of rice slashed 50% to
please?
I mean, so even if Lion had decided to stay back, then Lion would have enjoyed 50% slash in her bag of rice, the price of bag of rice.
Okay, all right. Well, I think there is no way you can have a very balanced center rather. Things will always affect people differently, and no matter how much you want to make things better for them, there are still people that will not benefit from it, and others will benefit. But the truth is, okay, this is for Nigerians, those who are traveling, and traveling means a lot to people this season. I mean, a lot of people actually travel. So as said, but let's give kudos.
To be fair, many people decided to stay back because when you decide to embark on a journey, you need lots of funds. The people you are visiting, then the time you're going to be staying. So and you don't have to debate it that we are having cash crunch.
And another thing is security.
Yeah.
Another concern that has been raised, especially on the train, is security, because we've had kidnappings on the Abuja-Kaduna train and all.
Security aspect is improving. It isn't so prevalent like we had, let's say, 12 months ago and above. It's improving all the time. There is nowhere in the world where you have 100% security guarantee. So, but then when it comes to security issues that has to do with poverty, they should be nailed in the bud.
All right, thank you very much for sharing your opinion. So we go to the first topic of the day, and we talked about it fairly on the program last week, but things took a new turn, and that's about the Rivers State's crisis. So last week we had resignations, and then the governor presenting the budget to just 5-man assembly. And on Monday we saw President Tinubu, intervene, and they came up with an 8-point directive. So before we go into that 8-point directive, let's take a commercial break. When we return, we'll look at it. Back is still Editors Forum on Galaxy Television with Layo Shubo for Laura Show, and definitely my guests are in the studio. Before we went on the commercial break, we were talking about the Rivers State crisis, where the president intervened and they came up with an 8-point agenda. Now, I may not be able to read out the 8 points. I also believe our audience know about it. So, but there has been protests now. We saw protest, solidarity walk, they called it, peaceful protest yesterday, that pact is not favorable. First of all, to Governor Fubara Siminalayi, and then that it is an undermining of the separation of powers and rule of law across the nation. What do you think about that, sir?
Well, it depends on the side of the eye you want to play. If you want to do legalism for legalism's sake, if you want to do pragmatism. If you look at the chain of events, the two sides are falling short of the side of the law. The governor has passed a budget to, is it 4 or 5 now? We don't even know whether it's 4 or 5. Some people say 4, some people say 5. Okay, maybe if you take an average of that one.
So there were 32 and 27 defective, leaving 5.
Well, anyway, and that's a simple minority according to Obasanjo regime or something. So you don't pass a budget through 4 legislators, no matter what. Then there was a destruction pulling down the legislative house.
The complex.
That is a cardinal crime against democracy.
No, there was a reason. They said that it's after the fire incident.
We are all living there. I mean, don't let's try and excuse some of these things. That was ultra bad behavior that should be condemned by everybody. But that's on the governor's side. Now, the governor is not a mad person. Something prompted him to do that. And implement that came from nowhere. I guess the man just panicked, And if 27 people out of 32 pulled out, and they were wielding implements on their head, you panic, but he panicked badly. So the governor was stampeded into doing a criminal democratic offense. I don't want to mince words. That was criminal. You don't go and pull down the state house of assembly for whatever reason. Even
if for renovation,
what revolution? Look! Don't let me pampering this thing. There is no renovation anywhere. We saw the build-up. We are not living in Mars. We are in Nigeria. We saw all this build-up now. So to me, it's absolutely unacceptable. But I've said the governor's part. Now, the people wanted to willy-nilly impeach the governor. They have their own grudges too. And if you threaten a city governor, if you want to do legalism with extra-legal processes, that just flying impeachment from nowhere, and you are saying the guy you are going to impeach him because you want to bring down some structure or whatever. That's condemnable. But my premise was that where do you want to play? Is it legalism or pragmatism? I think many people are saying that the president had no right or had no constitutional role to intervene, which is right. Number one, it's a federalism, it's a federal state. The state is independent, it's not an appendage of the federal government. But you see, in the matrix of power, there are 3. There is power, which is the most visible, but it's the most powerless, ironically. Then there is authority. Actually, there are 4. There is authority. Authority gives you the power to use your power. Authority. Then there is legitimacy. It doesn't belong to you, it belongs to the people. That's why you go to vote and voted for. But beyond all that, the most powerful is influence and is the most quiet. So what the president has used is he influenced with both parties. And to the extent that both of them went to him, the SAT agreed to the compromise. I will go with that. People, and there are many, I don't want to call people names, but in Nigeria there are always conflict entrepreneurs who just want to side, with some people just to make trouble with another. And lawyers who are doing legalism. Now people, I laugh. So people say that we commended the president, we called on him to intervene. But then after he intervened, we didn't like the result to intervene. If they were so sure of their own neck clout, why didn't they intervene instead of the president? So I think both of them are falling short. If we want to apply the law, both of them will go. But if both of them go, that will be anarchy. So politics is about conflict resolution. So to the extent that the president has, intervened to really try to put some solution to the problem, I'll go with him. Of course, it's not perfect. All the parties will not get everything 100%. But you get some, you lose some, and that's the spirit of the moment.
So looking at the third, okay, so the third part is the leadership of River State House of Assembly, as led by Right Honorable Martin Amewale, shall be recognized alongside the 27 members who resigned from PDP. And it's also said the Rivers Assembly will choose where they want to sit. That is very okay, great. Now, the seventh one, the name of all commissioners in the River State Executive Council who resigned their appointment because of the political crisis shall be resubmitted. So looking at three rather, of the leadership of the House of Assembly, and 7, this is totally against the law, the Constitution. People defected. According to the Constitution, they should lose their seats, right? But now,
according to the Supreme Court, this issue has been dealt with as the Supreme Court, State of Assembly. When you defect, but we can stay here.
No, I also want to link it to the commissioners. Okay. They already resigned. Now you are saying they have to resubmit their names for confirmation. Is that not just against the law? Are we not undermining the power of the law, the Constitution in Nigeria?
Yeah, but Mr. Bimbola just spoke about the power, the authority, the legitimacy, and the influence. So, except you want anarchy, then you just have to settle for what to have us to judge rather than one. So when you have a situation where what I would call lawlessness had already set in, from both parties, you have the issue of then they went for conflict resolution. Then they seemed to have come back worse off, because the aggrieved, so seemingly the weaker part, had been shouting threat and intimidation, arm twisting at the Aso Rock, and that hadn't gone down well with the people back home. So just yesterday, the stakeholders took the president and the INEC and I think the PDP and APC to court, dragging the president to court for the way he handled that. They believed he had taken side by not speaking to the defection of those 27 and by almost compelling the governor to go against his own authority at the local level in the state, So it seemed the former governor Wike is having all the menus on his plate. So while Fubarak has got to lick his wounds, but then who will you blame when you have a situation where when I would always take all in our kind of democracy, and they asked Sim Fubarak how much did he buy the form? Did he buy the form, nomination form? You have Wike purchased form for almost all the House of Assembly members. You understand? He single-handedly ensured they won the election, even arguably against the will of the people.
Even many of the commissioners were in place
Of
before
course, of course.
before Simurai came.
But until the electorates assume the power of Godfather, democracy will continue to be an illusion in Africa. So
But
that
sorry,
is that.
When will that
Sorry,
happen?
let me just
Yeah.
chip in something there. On the legality of you are saying that something was against the law. To start with, the law is never the how do I put it? What the law says is constant. The how it's applied is very dynamic. You know, and even the question of defecting, nobody knows as at now what the true situation is in this case. As at the last time, the Supreme Court ruled on the confusion in the party, division in the party at the national level. But nobody has looked at it at the state level. As far as I know, no court has pronounced on that. So until the court says that this present one is right or wrong, nobody can just push the so-called position of the law. Unfortunately, analysts come to television and push their own side. They try to bully you because they are lawyers, and they feel that your brain is working out of capacity. They should just take whatever they say, with all due respect to them. I think people should think. Let us dig this into the law, to the court, and let the court decide. Or not till then, nobody can say people have loved their seat or did not love their seat. We know that there is a conflict in the assembly. We know that some people went, it could well have been a class suicide because they had no reason for crossing to APC. They would still have been in PDP and fought their battle. Why they crossed to PDP, maybe the Freudian slip or Achilles heel, I don't know. But they did that. And I'm telling you, their own lawyers will come to court with their own argument and to be a whole. So let's wait. But as at now, like he said, nothing thrives on anarchy. I know, when we report, it's conflict. If you do drama, if you look at any of these classical plays, Shakespearean something, it's always conflict. The hero will fall because of sort of mistakes he ought to have done. And all that, you resolve it, and you have this sort of final relief. Even in the low, this Willie Loman was death of a salesman is a low person that fell, unlike contemporary drama. So that's always when we report, we want to report battle, we want to report quarrels, scandals, and all that, so that it can be a lot of spikes. Sensation, but sensation doesn't move life. Life is there. It will do its attack. And let me say something. What is happening in rivers is a clear case of karma. It's a clear case of karma. What Fubara is doing to Wike did it to Amechi. They did. So if he's lucky, somebody will just will block that cycle to stop there. Because from what was their godfather, the former governor, the Dr. Odili, all of these are all Odili's boys. Amici, Wike, Fubara, they are just Odili's full soldiers. So the thing has been ruptured along the way. This is a good opportunity. If you want to stand by the law, we go for the full something. Say that A loses or B loses, but that thing will continue. But you could just stop the cycle. And breach it. When you breach it, maybe you can build on, because as now, look, Fubara is another dog. Whatever happens in this case is the winner. If fighting the top dog, the governor will former governor will learn to respect him. He will not impose anything. And if those people say that, okay, they resign, they want to represent their case, I think they are trying to make the thing easier for the sitting governor. Just like the budget, you don't pass a budget in front of
just 4 or 5 people.
Forget the legality that you only recognize 4. Who does that? We have 32. You are passing budget 4 or 5. That's absolutely nonsense.
Another thing.
And in the day too, a day.
Yes.
You pass the budget in the day, just like magic.
How do you explain
So
that to students of political science?
One other thing I want to point out is, so the way you mentioned, the law provisions of the law are constant, but the way it is applied is dynamic. But then, when matters come to law, they look at, okay, previous cases, the president, how was it done? Then they try to apply it. So are we seeing if any other problem burst out in the nation? Now, there is a burden crisis in Benue State. Lawmakers are already calling on the president to talk to the governor, accusing him of being a dictator. So let's say a kind of scenario like that happens again in Benue State. Are we still going to apply the same intervention process of the president using influence and then turning the law upside down because we want to avoid anarchy?
I think it's high time we adopt this doctrine of true federalism. You know, we seem to continue to shoot ourselves in the feet, you know, when we continue to try to manage that situation, you know. So this, of course, Fubara Wike saga isn't the first, you know, we've seen.
And it won't be the last.
It won't be the last. And
can it please be the last?
It can't be the last.
And when you listen to, if you read what Ezekiel Emmanuel wrote in his column yesterday, he mentioned something very profound. Would a governor, Tinubu, had swallowed the same directive he handed over to Fubara? You understand? The President Tinubu we know well as then as Governor Tinubu, who don't have any of that. So I would not want the President to allow the Wike and Fubara issue to really smear his what he was known for, you know, because some people really got to like him for those values. He championed true federalism for years. That entails resource control, state police, restructuring, and all that. And I keep telling people that we do not just have a president in Asoro. We have an activist, we have a Nadeco henchman. So, what former President Muhammadu Buhari did and maybe got away with, he might not maybe get away with it at ease, you know. So, all eyes are on him. He should tread and not, you know, cautiously and not allow people like Wike, who people have seemed to come to see as he could do whatever he wished. You know, he actually said this many times. That look, he said it on camera that he purchased the nomination forms for virtually all the House of Assembly members, including the governor, and he ensured their victories. So when you have
who pays the tune?
Who pays the piper dictates the tune. Regrettably though, regrettably. So there's we look forward to the time where we're going to have the electorate assume the enviable position of the Godfather. They can recall declare the seats of their representatives vacant, recall anyone who had erred, and at the same time become a big factor in decision making of the government.
To round it off so we can go to the next bit, what does it take electorates to have that power? Because it feels like that is actually the solution to all of these issues. What does it take the electorate to truly be the ones who have the power and use it?
It's evolution. I mean, it's a long continuum. It's not going to happen in a day. Like they say, revolution don't just happen as a la carte. It happens gradually until it explodes. Look, this Nigerian democracy is evolving. You have the good part, the bad part, and all that. Certainly, between 1999 and now, the political coast is better. It's growing. I don't want to say better. It's developing. It's evolving, and we are going to have all these sort of teething problems. America has been 2.5 centuries. Britain's more than that. And you still have a Trump trying to pull down the almost 250 years of democracy. Nigeria, this one is just 24 years, going to 25. So let's not be too much in our. Yeah, the idealists will say this must happen. But life is not like that. Things happen gradually. What is happening in Rivers? For instance, Tinubu was governor of Lagos. He never pulled out, he was never crazy enough to go and pull out the State House of Assembly. Now, if the present government shot himself in the foot, the governor, he shot himself in the foot, and he knew that that was the ultimate crime against democracy. What the agreement tried to do was try to make him to do the right thing without losing faith. I mean, when I look at things, I don't look at people, I look at concepts. Because if you look at people, you lose the plot. There are Tinubu lovers and Tinubu haters. People who don't care. There are Wiki lovers, Wiki haters. When you look at Wiki, you look at Fubara, look at Tinubu, you are losing the plot. Look at the concept of the conflict and see how you can make the best out of the mess they brought us. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think the president is in the dock of anybody. Both parties went to him. Even their so-called leaders, they were urging the government to intervene. In any case, when the evolution of the politics, lag behind the legality of it, what do I mean? You want a federal state, and yet when the crisis happens, you want a president that is a Leviathan that can come and open sesame, solve the problem. The problem is gone. It's not going to happen. You are going to build slowly, steadily until you get the right mix. If you make a mistake, you correct it. The good thing is democracy has come to stay in Nigeria. No opportunistic government will say, their fellow Nigeria. That one is gone and gone forever. We never have it. So whatever we have, let's see. The laws are still there. The costs are there. So whatever people have to go to collect them, go to collect. Let's see what the court will decide. But let the processes continue. That's the way of democracy.
All right. Thank you very much for your great analysis.